Good morning. I am now going to start on this waterfall. Plan is to do a watercolor once again, like I did previously. Trying the horizon line and try here to actually see, so the waterfall. I have a reference that I'm looking at of Victoria Falls, but I'm not trying to do an actual painting of Victoria Falls. I'm just trying to look at something that is representative of the general idea that I'm going for. Okay, down in here, let's see, we'll go. Not 100% sure what I'll end up doing with this one, this painting when it's finished, but it's possible this will be one of those end of the year type teacher gifts. Got a couple teachers that we need to still get gifts to, or that we will still need gifts for. And if this turns out good enough, then I don't. I'd prefer not to just give them a Starbucks gift card. Of course, maybe they would prefer a Starbucks gift card to a painting, but so it goes. Okay. This is all pretty steamed up down here. I'm trying to make sure I understand the actual shape of the land and the angle properly. Right now, it's looking like this should actually be a bit more like rounded or something. Excuse me. And then this is, I guess, what I'd call the shelf for the waterfall to drop to here. So over here, what I'm gonna need is something blocking here, and I'm thinking maybe, yeah, so maybe this, let's say we're coming out of, we're looking at this some branches. There's a branch here. I can have this shelf of the waterfall, so it's sort of coming down this way, let's say. And then farther over here, we've got some sort of mountains, rocks, some trees. Trees that are basically so like overgrown on top of one another that we can't even see the trunks. I don't know about the clouds. We'll figure that out later. So I'm just gonna, excuse me, focus on this right here is, sorry, I'm just gonna focus on trying to use I think color once I get this composition close to where I want it. I'm just going to use mostly color to try to create this impression of the waterfall. I don't want to get too detailed and tight. Okay. Some rocks over here. Some rocks here. That branch will help to push it back for sure. I'm not sure what I want to put right in here though. I'm also not sure that anything should necessarily go in there, but having some rock faces, or is that what they would be? I guess they would be rock faces. Inside the water is going to help to make it have more contrast. So the water is mostly just going to be the white of the paper here. And I'm hoping that I can make it so it just sort of disappears down in here. There's steam, it's not steam because it's not a hot waterfall. It's just mist, I suppose. I think last time what I ended up doing was using gouache, maybe, was what I used to get the to make the water actually come out quite a bit or stand out. Alright, that's good. I don't know if I even need clouds or anything. Probably not. I do need this horizon line to be a little bit bumpier. And then probably, if I'm not gonna do clouds, to have like a pretty, like a desaturated something back here will help to, just some sort of mountain ridge that's way back in the back. This branch, and then like what, maybe, I don't know, I could put, if I really wanted to, I could get somebody sort of, a really small, not detailed person or animal might suit this. really require much in the way of, okay, now I can see this a little better over here. There's something about this photograph is that I'm using as a references. Pretty, it's not, I mean, the resolution isn't terrible, but it's some of it's hard to see, which is okay because I'm not trying to do a direct one-to-one, excuse me, I'm not just trying to paint the photograph. I'm trying to paint something new, using the photograph as a way to give me a sense of what a waterfall that I could encounter in the real world actually looks like, and then I am improvising from there. Can't remember. Can't improvise from nothing. That was a quote that one of my professors in my MFA told me, and I cannot remember who said it, but I think Andy Warhol was just basically trying to do reality TV, just videoing a bunch of people at a party or something, and he had this jazz musician, and he was like, I think he asked Andy Warhol, like, so what do you want me to do? He said, improvise, and then he said, I can't improvise from nothing. That may just be, I mean, that could be so far off that it could just be made up. But I still believe the idea there is true. I mean, how does one improvise from nothing? How much more drawing do I want to do here before I start getting into painting? That's probably 0. That's what I think. So I think it's probably time to get going here on the actual painting. Got my palette cleaned up. Don't need a pencil anymore for this today. I will need some brushes. I'll probably need some more paint. I'll grab all these paint tubes that I have left. These are Holbein, which I really like. And I will probably start listening to some music while I'm painting this. Talking a bit as I go, but not a ton. Let's see. I can't do half the things I want to do. Why is it not letting me click on stuff? Why is it not letting me click on stuff? Very weird. I believe Songs for the Deaf is a good album for this. Of course, it just says the content is not authorized every single time. What on earth? Is the volume completely down? Nope. There we go. Haha. That's a good little songs for the deaf joke. And there we are. Okay. That was sponsored by Marriott. Not what I just said. Sorry. What a weird thing. My towel is right here. Using a nice, it's a big brush, I guess, in my world is this number 10. So I'm gonna get some clean water and just get that going up here. This brush already has some blue in it. Now the sky, I'm just gonna do it kind of the same way as the actual way the reference is. All right, it's pretty wet now. I don't need a ton of pigment, but because there's a lot of water up there, I probably need a little bit more than I would if it had just been dry. Very odd. Somehow the volume went down. Which I'm guessing is because I lost a headphone or something. One of them just ran out of juice. There we go. Now I want to get some of this like brown. Wow. This might be the worst I have ever heard this. I don't know what's going on here. Did Apple break or something? These headphones should be charged. Yeah, that's weird. Wow. Never mind. I can't even do this. That's terrible. This is USB-C, so I can't even charge it. Hooray! Back to a reality wherein I am just painting rocks in silence, which is okay. I don't need to worry about stuff overlapping or any of that. All I'm concerned with is getting the impressions of this down so that that's going to be dark. This is going to be brighter. I still don't know what I'm going to do in this little area, but so this is kind of like the same color back here, much of it anyway. I'm not totally sure that this is gonna work. But giving up now would be pretty silly. So think it's this green in here. This is just a, this one, I can't remember the name of this green, but I will mix that with some other stuff eventually. Right now, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just trying to get some color in here so I can figure out where I'm going. And if I spend too much time mixing greens here, I will never get this done. I'm giving myself an hour to complete this. It's been, what, 21 minutes, so I got about 40 minutes before I need to get back at the other stuff. Okay, so go with some brown here for this branch. Definitely gonna be the most saturated of all the things on here thus far. I don't know that it will be the most saturated thing in the painting completely, because I still have this section down here that I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that this is all the same local color, and then when it's time to darken it up, I will be adding on top of that and not making it 100% the darker color. So I'm gonna keep it like that. And then we got this a little darker here. This is darker here. Start getting some darker areas in these trees. Where else? This can be nice and dark. This can be dark. Yeah, and then I'll start carving shapes out of this after a while. I think I want these rocks. I'll Payne's gray them as well, I guess. This one. This one, like a rock here. This is a rock. And we'll go with some more green down in this general area. Start reminding myself that I'm doing a watercolor. And what I mean by that is that, you know, like, for me, I'm just making this mountain like a purplish, a desaturated purple color, just because I think it'll look nice. And then I'm gonna pull some of that out of there. All right, and then let's see, I think now I can start trying to get some of this yellow. So I gotta very yellow green. What I'm gonna do is just basically use it up. Start getting some warmth on portions of this green. This here should be, yeah, these are greener areas because they are, or excuse me, warmer is the word I'm looking for here. The warmer areas where the sun is actually hitting stuff. It's gonna be down here and here. Okay. I won't be able to like once you go, once the colors begin to get super saturated, the darker they get, you're unable to fix that with transparent color. And what I mean is not that it's wrong if it's too dark. I just mean that if it's darker than you had intended, then eventually I'll have to, if it's darker than I intend, then eventually I'll have to move to opaque paint, which I'm fine with. I'm going to stay with this big brush for as long as I possibly can, because I don't want to start fiddling with teeny tiny little things. I believe it's going to make sense for me to start thinking pretty hard about what I want to do down here in the left, the bottom left. I'm adding some cool blue here in these trees. I'm trying to let it just run a bit and to or bloom, I guess, actually is the word that is often used. I'm gonna get more right in here also. This here can be one of the darkest areas probably, just because, yeah. So down in there, in this section, I want it to be that dark. This is gonna be blue and brown. If I regret that later, I'll figure out a way to live with it, but I think it's, soften that all up. It's not really important, you know. What is it at? Not concerned at the moment. So stepping back from this, looks like trees enough to me currently. Man, do I want this to just be... I mean, really, if I just make this rocks, that's honestly going to be the... I think we'll just do it that way. And then if I decide that I need to do something in addition to that farther down the line, I will. But I think it just makes sense to just have some rocks down here. That's what we'll do. All right, make it darker here, you know, and should be jagged in spots. All right, fine. Go in here again. So it's gonna be darker towards the top edge, and then some reflected warm light in here. Okay, and now I'm gonna try and melt quite a bit of green so that I can try to really get this to be green where it needs to be. Greenest. Alright. I'm gonna do a little bit of work on the on this branch just to give it some nuance, but this brush is going to be holding way too much water at this point, so I got to go to something a little bit smaller, and I will do that. And then to get the color I need, I'm going to go straight to the actual paint. Well, it doesn't want to do it, so here we go. Let's just get some Payne's gray. It's like a hole in the little branch there. And that's going like that. I'm gonna soften all this up. And actually, I will grab some yellow here. Looks like this is staying a bit too... Alright, so I gotta wait for that to dry before I can do what I really need to do, or really want to do. And here I'm gonna go ahead and this, and here. Make sure that this comes down to the edge. Okay, thinking about where the cool blue goes now. Here. Here. Through like that. So really, what I want to do now is stop thinking so much about does this look like an actual rock and start thinking more about are these shapes getting guiding the viewer's eye where I want it to go. And this is a painting that's about, let's say it's about something, it's about the waterfall. So what I really need to make sure I do is make that clear. So this waterfall it's in at the center, you know, which is a way to do it. Need start getting it's a long way away from us, so can't. Oh, a little bit too dark there. That's right. Well, as I said, or demonstrated even previously, what will really make the waterfall portion work the most is when I have when I start adding the gouache. Okay, so I don't want too much variation there. It's okay. Start darkening up some places that can be darker. This is maybe like this here, this shape aimed at the waterfall. Very nice. These rocks, I think right here, that should be, yeah, it's a little darker. This rock, so they're darker down here in my mind just because the sun's not hitting them as much. This rock is actually like enormous, so I can get the rock shapes in here, and I can do them really very dark and not have to be overly concerned because the gouache that I use to create the water splashing effect in a bit will do a lot of that work for me. If you see how it's soft right there, that actually makes makes it sort of look like the water is either rushing past or affecting our view of it anyway. Okay, and then I believe this is actually supposed to be rock that is coming all the way across, and the trees here, rocks, trees, all the things Okay, yada da da. So it sort of sweeps like this in order to make that feel more real. You need to see, this is probably where the, yeah, that's right. Soften this, which is just all you do is touch it with some water, and then you've done it. Okay. Probably gonna end up needing like a hard edge here of some kind. So I'll come back to that. We'll go over here and start really getting some darker areas. Some more green. Maybe get some green there. Just start adding some, little trees and things. The background there. And start saturating this a bit more and this a bit more, because these are closer to us as the viewer. Cool this off just a bit. And I will add, kind of want this, don't want that purple to take over. But it's also, the green is not in charge. Is that what I was gonna say? The green's not in charge over there, but neither is the purple. Okay, so stepping back, there's that one ledge on the left-hand side that I think I want to make some adjustments to. And then the branch, it should be dry enough now that I can actually do a little bit of work here to clean that up. There's no real reason for it to be that bright. So hopefully that resolves or solves what was bugging me. That's fine. Alright, so now I'm trying to mix a nice cool green, if I can. And then start adding that into this here to just, might be still, yeah, it's a little bit too wet still probably for me to really get what I'm trying to do, but at least in parts, not everywhere. If I get a little bit more blue, perhaps you can start to see what I'm hoping for here. I'm just trying to make some feel a little bit more like leaves and bushes, branches, or not branches, but what's on the branches anyway. Sort of looking at my, here we go. The pencil lines are helping me to make choices about where this, I mean, what this blue is shadow, so definitely be in that area, and then I can start using some Payne's Gray as well if I need to. I want to get really cool. Again, I'm talking about temperature for anyone who is confused. Cool, it's cool colors, as in they are not warm colors. Okay, and then over here, get that a bit darker there. Yeah. Okay. Not 100% sure that could even, that shape could even exist at that position with this lighting, but not gonna let it ruin my day. This will be probably the darkest area on the edge anyway. I don't want it to be the darkest area. Probably what I'm gonna try to do is make the most saturated and the darkest area be as close to the waterfall as possible, and the reason for that is because I want, so like I'm gonna make this right here is gonna be a side part of the rock face that is not in the light, and then I'm letting this stay exposed, and then this is gonna come down here, dark as well. I'm gonna soften that because it looks a little bit odd, I think. But then this be a little darker. That means all of that right there is darkened a bit, so that this tree is sort of hanging over it. And it is not like that in the reference. So this is just, me making choices to try and make the focus of this painting, which is again the waterfall, stand out once we get to that point. Man, so the angle that this is at will maybe allow me to, yeah, I can still, well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about it as if reality is the thing that determines whether or not we make a decision, gives us permission to paint a thing in a way that's silly, so please disregard that. This particular cliff situation needs to come out just a bit more, I think, up top. And so now that it is dried a bit, I'm going to try and make that happen. So there's a rock face. So this part of the rock that's part of the rock face. It comes down like this. That may be too dark, but it is definitely on the right track, so that's good. That's what we're wanting. So probably gotta maybe soften that out a bit. Up above this, that means I'm gonna create a little bit of distinction between that rock face and then that. That rock face, which is in the water. Alright, that guy's good. It's okay if some of these things bleed together, because, alright, backing up. Alright, there are, Purple mountain back there. A little bit like there's clouds. What am I missing? I think the water seems like it's actually almost working, which is a pleasant surprise. I thought I would have to do a lot more work with gouache, but you know, you're not supposed to be right up on this when you're looking at it. So we got 6 minutes left before I need to move on. Is there anything else I want to do to this guy? I'm probably gonna try to make sure that these edges are all covered, because last thing I want to do is try to frame it and then realize that there's weird strips of bald paper. Maybe add a little bit more visual interest in the sky. You can do that with some dry brushing, actually. little bit more of this saturation right at the base of the mountain, and then get some brown in there just for the I want this to come through to overlap just enough. And then get this in here. That there. There. Grab this yellow. Warm this up a bit. That up. And believe that this down here is saturated to the degree that it needs to be. Let's make sure that these things are. All right, I'm gonna stand back here, take a look at it. Oh. And I mean, I don't know. I got 2 minutes. Oh, what am I gonna do in 2 minutes? Well, in 2 minutes I can add a bit more saturation to this. Just see if I can push that back, but then I'm gonna need to add a little bit more detail probably, so. For instance, this is definitely darker, and then some stiff in here. Perhaps this is what I don't know that I like that, but it's begun, you know. It seems pretty watery still. Yeah, I mean, we'll just say this one is like kind of pointing out the other direction. Add a little bit more dark right in here. Soften it up. I think the last thing I need to do is kind of brighten this up just a bit. It's just too dark right there. Just a slight. Yeah, let's maybe do a little bit of green here just to create slight separation. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna go way over. Yeah, already went over. No. No. Okay. All right, so I have a few hard edges here, but honestly, I think, except right here, right in here, you cannot be that bright. It's supposed to be dark. Yeah, I mean, the water is very clear right here, but I'll probably end up doing gouache. So I'm gonna let this dry, and just I'm done for now with watercolors for today. So there's my watercolor waterfall for the week, weekly waterfall, and now I gotta get back on Beowulf and Grendel. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, thanks to anyone who took the time to check this out. Really appreciate it. This one, like I said, it's probably going to be a waterfall for just a present for one of my kids' teachers. So I'll do more and have more for sale down the line. But all that said, I hope everyone has a good weekend, and talk to you soon. See ya.